So, a student from Philadelphia Textile.
Huh? Mr. Habib, welcome to our show. It's really great to have you here, and it's very nice of you to take time out and sing so many lovely songs for us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Tell me, when did your interest in music begin? Were you very young?
When I was very young, yes, my interest in the interest in music started, I think, at a very very young age, and then since I was born in Rangoon, we used to hear only qawwalis at that time.
I see.
That was the only music we thought was Indian music. But then later on, when I came to Bombay, I became familiar with classical music, that is the real Indian music, and I wanted to learn from Ustad Fayaz Khan,
I see.
who is the Agra Gharana Ustad. But he told me that since he was a Baroda state musician, he was not staying in Bombay, and he asked me to learn from his nephew, Ustad Latafat Hussain Khan.
I see.
Previous to that, I took some basic theoretical training from Mr. B.R. Devadar's school in Bombay for about 2 years. And then I learned from Ustad Latafat Hussain Khan. And later on, I came to America to study.
Now tell me, it doesn't, why, if you were so interested in music, why did you continue doing your studies and not go full time into music? And at the same time pursue education and a career, and like right now you're a businessman, and you still say music is your hobby, but you obviously seem to have been very passionately interested in it from the beginning.
That has a very interesting story behind it, because I come from a family of businessmen, and my family, we were also film distributors in Bombay. Film industry didn't have a very very good reputation in those days. So my parents asked me not to go in for singing and become a businessman. I resisted, but in the meantime, during that struggle, what happened was that I kept on my interest in music, and at the same time I began to study, because I thought that business had a great future for me and my children. Actually, in 1947 I came to America to study and to give up music, because I had promised my mother that I would actually give up. She insisted. After I went back, after I graduated from Syracuse University, I did my MBA, I went back to Bombay, and this contest, the Great Caruso contest, was to be held. I thought I could not resist the temptation of joining that contest.
I see. And you won the first prize.
Yes, I won the first prize.
Yes.
Naushad Ali was the judge. And
I believe Mahendra Kapoor was one of the singers.
Yes, he was one of the singers. Even I'm told Manna Day
was one of the
singers
participants.
I got 9 out of 10 marks, and I think Mahendra Kapoor got 6 out of 10.
I see.
But then my commercial career started after that.
So how long was this gap that you gave up music for?
About 3 years while I was studying here. I tried to give up, but I think if one has it in his blood, it's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
Now my life is not complete without music.
So how did you continue? You graduated, then you won this contest, and you continued singing and you continued working. Didn't one hamper the other?
Well, actually what happened was that after my commercial record came out, the first commercial record under the name of HABIB WALI Muhammad, it did not sell for about 3 years. I was commuting between Bombay and Karachi. In Karachi, I tried to learn my family, take over my family business. After about a lapse of 3 years, I think the record began to sell very well, because the film stars tried to plug it on Radio Ceylon. But it was too late to go back. And I kept my interest in music. In Pakistan, I have sung for films afterwards. And I got a Golden Disc Award for my song Ashiyan Jal Gaya, Raate Thi Chandni, which were actually recorded in Bombay but released in Pakistan. So I think as luck would favor it, I kept my interest in music as well as in business. Now I have the prestige of business in music, and the popularity of music in business.
You said you sang for Pakistani films.
Yes.
Have you considered singing for Indian films now that it doesn't have such a bad reputation?
No. Film industry means, you see, there were a lot of rumors and romances
I
going
know,
on.
yes.
So that was what my family.
Has
tried
anybody
to prevent.
approached you? Have you tried to?
No, nobody has approached me. I don't mind singing in Indian films. I would love it, but nobody has yet approached me.
I see. Because you are one of the most popular singers in Pakistan,
Yes, I
and the question of proving yourself doesn't arise.
doesn't.
And people, the movie industry is turning more and more to outsiders, to people who are not in films or who are not, actors from stage, singers from stage, to come and perform in their movies.
Now, quite a few newcomers are being given chance.
Right.
And after the demise of Muhammad Rafi and
Kishore Kumar, everyone, yeah,
I think some newcomers have come in, but they have not been able to, I think, fill the place of those stalwarts.
Well, they don't have to necessarily fill, they have to create their own...
That's true, but then it will take some time.
Definitely.
And they will have to get experience
Definitely.
and a good chance.
Your original name, I believe, is Habib Tabani.
That's
What
right.
was the reason for changing your name to Habib Ali Muhammad?
My elder brother was very much against my joining the film industry. So what happened was, I thought that by the time I entered the contest and the result came out, he might so that he might not be able to get a wind of it. I adopted the name Habib Wali Muhammad. Wali Muhammad is my father's name.
I see.
But then after I won, it was all right. Then that name stuck because the gramophone company said, we will all adopt your name as the one in which you have won it.
I see.
Habib Wali Muhammad was the name which won me the first prize.
I also believe you've sung a few songs under a different name, that of Kamal Roy.
Kamal Roy, yes.
What songs were they, and why did you change your name then?
I changed my name because after the first record did not sell, I thought it was a Muslim name. So it might not go well under the circumstances that prevail in India then.
Yes, quite a few actors were changing their
there were
name, right?
riots after the partition and all that. So I thought that prejudice might still be there. However, I sang under the name of Kamal Roy. There were two geets by O.P. Nayyar, and the wordings are of one song is Kit gaye man ki nao ke माझी सूझत nahi kinara, and the other song was आग लगी मन में मुरे बालम आकर कौन बुझाए. It did not sell very well. The other one under the name of Habib Ali Muhammad sold. That was लगता नहीं है जी मेरा उजड़े दयार में, and on the other side it was ये न थी हमारे किस्मत के विसाले यार होता.
So from all this, after so many years, what do you think really sustained you? What has been the secret of your success?
I think the public has liked my voice. I have selected ghazals and geets from very good poets, so the standard of poetry also counts. Then my expression, when my first record came out, was a new kind of an expression. It's a mixture of the Agra Gharana style of music as well as the style of Pankaj Malik and Saigal, whom I used to emulate in my college days, school and college days. So a new style evolved, which took time for the public to recognize. Actually, when I went back to Pakistan, I got a chance to sing in films also, and I sang in about 8 or 10 films, and my songs there have been very popular.
Among our viewers, Mr. Habib, there must be quite a few singers who like to sing because they love music, and who at the same time running their own maybe family business or have a career or something. What sort of advice would you give them if they would like to pursue music the way you did?
The advice that I would give them is to go on doing riyaz, a lot of practice, because in music you don't need so many lessons as you need practice. Your ustad might give you a couple of lessons, you can go on doing it for years. What you need is a training of your voice and a blending of your style. A new style should emerge. If you try to copy someone, it doesn't help you, because when the original singer whom you are copying is already existing, there's no sense, people won't give you any respect or wouldn't want to listen to you. So one has to evolve one's style, develop one's voice, and get a training in classical music, which is the base of our music.
And how would you advise them to separate the two, or maybe use one for the benefit of the other?
You mean business?
The hobby and the business.
The hobby and the business. Well, you have to work very hard, as I did. You have to find time for music as well as for your hobby. And the only regret I have is that I did not bring out many cassettes or records, so that the Indian public in India would know me. Although I have started in India, my cassettes are so few that now, through the courtesy of Vision of Asia and the radio stations, I am trying to popularize, to familiarize the Indian public with my songs, and I hope they would like it and that they would appreciate it as I do.
Mr. Habib, in the last few years, you're aware there have been a lot of ghazal singers that have emerged in India. You must be reading about it very often. There is Anup Jalota, there's Pankaj Udas, there's Pinaz Masani, Talat Aziz. There are innumerable. They each have come with a style of their own, and they're each doing very well in their own way. Whom do you consider the best and why?
That's a very difficult thing to say, because as Roshanara Begum once said in her interview, every artist tries very hard and tries to please. It all depends on how far they are able to influence the public and have their music liked by the public. Everyone is a good artist. I think Talat Aziz and this fellow
Pankaj
Udas and Anup Jalota, all are good singers. All have different styles, and whichever style goes well with the public. That is. Pankaj Udas selects very simple ghazals, because people in Bombay who don't know very much Urdu, so that they can understand, he goes very well. Anup Jalota comes from a family of
singers.
Singers. His father, I know, he's a very good singer. So he has his own style. And
yes, he I think picks up difficult ones, but then explains to the audience the meaning of the whole thing.
That is necessary, because since ghazals are based on the Urdu language.
Right. Quite a bit of them have quite a bit of Persian in it also.
Yes, Persianized, but then you see, I'll tell you, in the olden days, now Pankaj Malik's song I Kaate Pe Takdeer has been sung very well by the people, and everyone almost likes it and sings it. But whoever tried to learn the meaning of Katib, Katib means writer, but then they get the gist of it and they understand. And Saigal had a song in the film Street Singer, I think. Asire Panjaye Ehde Shabab Karke Mujhe. Now, how did people understand that? That's a film song. Asir means a prisoner. Panja means the panja. Ehde Shabab means the period of Jawani, youth.
I see.
So, after having made me a prisoner of the era of youth, so, you know, people got a gist of it, and they would, what we call is the nichod, but they never understood the words. Nevertheless, there was a sort of a prejudice. Now that prejudice is gone, and every poet uses certain symbolisms, like Saki, like Ashiyan. If you understand those few words, then you have understood ghazals, and these things go on repeating. So I think as people go on listening and understanding the meanings, you can get in India also, in Bombay, ghazals written in Hindi, and the explanations are given at the bottom. I've got those books.
What is your preference? What do you prefer singing?
I sing Geets and ghazals, because now that in India ghazals have become popular, I select simple ghazals also, and I sing Geets also.
What's your personal preference?
My preference? Both. Because if you are a ghazal singer, you have to sing Geets also, and both are almost similar. They are not different. Ghazals have a different poetic style, that's all. And it is a little different to tune it, to set a tune to it. But I
Do
have
you
done.
set your own tunes?
Yes, I have done that also. I have had music directors and set tunes for me also.
Do many young writers come up to you and say this is
Yes, many do.
new poem?
Many do. But then you see,
So how do you select what you want to sing?
we select only those that we think would go well with the public. Or a ghazal is lying with me for years, and I come across a tune, or I think of a tune, and I think if that the ghazal with that
Will
meter
fit.
fits in, then we adopt it. I have ghazals lying with me for the last 40 years also, and whenever we get a good tune, we adopt it. And then the themes also have a certain particular period of time. Today some themes are popular, and they were not popular a few years ago.
So you might bring some of the old ones back, and
Yes.
then they suddenly people might accept it.
We have to adapt.
Right, that's true. That's true. Your audience eventually is everything.
Yes, that's true. We aim at the audience.
True.
And I am particularly aiming at the Indian audience.
Well, you've definitely got your message across, Mr.
Thank
Habib.
you.
It's really been a pleasure having
Thank
you
you.
here. Thank you
It's
so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me and letting me address my listeners and my audience.
The pleasure is entirely ours.
Thank you.
you. Okay.
Panama City Monday, waving their checks and shouting democracy and justice. 60,000 retirees get monthly Social Security checks. But these days in Panama, there's nowhere to cash them. The banks remain closed. The customers locked outside. So the crowds blocked the road, setting up barricades and turning traffic around. Troops were called to the poor neighborhood of San Miguelito to break up the crowd.
El Banco Nacional está mandando un
Elsewhere,
that may well put us at a disadvantage when the lights go green. It's post-doc time now with the semi-final rounds coming up. It's been said that post-doc is one of the toughest series which can use the car because of the restricted rules. If funny car, top fuel, special parts can be used, but for these cars, they must come from Detroit. Lee Shepard in the far lane and Joe Santeri on the near lane in the first semi-final. Bob Glidden and Frankie Antonio in the second semi-final. And the two drivers, both wheeling 1980 Camaros drag racing versions thereof, taking to the line, and they're off. On in the near lane. Santeri fouls. Red light. He left the fight too early. I don't believe he knows it. Certainly Shepard doesn't know it. Shepard streaks across the line. 8.511 seconds. 160.42 miles an hour. And so Lee Shepard goes to the final as Joe Santeri is disqualified. And the final post-doc semi-final. Frankie Antonio in the near lane. Bob Glidden, the four-time world champion, defending race champion here in the far lane as they come to the line, waiting for the starting signal. Keeping up. Antonio from New Jersey, they're off. It's close. Very close. Side by side. But going to the final again. Harris goes down. Antonio can almost post home. With 8.507, 158.7 miles an hour, and his wife Netta still has a worried look on her face. She's also in Suzuki. There's the matchup. Shepard against Glidden in the final. Glidden's 8.507 time is faster than Shepard's 8.511. That means he'll have lane short. Well, that concludes the preliminaries of the professional category. We'll be back later in the show for the finals in the pro category and a look at the grassroots segment of drag racing, the sportsman category, and how they fared here at Englishtown.
Back at the United States Swimming Championships, we are midway through the women's 400-meter freestyle race. You see the world, American, and Olympic gold medal times. The American record holder, Kim Linehan, is the leading qualifier for this race and is swimming in lane 4, but right now she is in third place behind the woman on your screen, Cynthia Woodhead, swimming in lane 6, and also Mary Beth Linsmeyer in lane 3. Woodhead in the white cap toward the bottom of your screen, Linsmeyer in the yellow cap up in lane 3.
preliminaries are out of the way, and the finals will be coming up in a matter of moments. Drag racing, like the alphabet, runs from A to Z. We've seen the exotic power plants in the top category, AA fuel dragster. Now we're looking at the engine in a 1973 Vega that races in the slowest category, the Z stock automatic stock eliminator. A car like this can be found on a used car lot for about $500. Another $1,500 for modification, racing wheels and tires, tickle the engine a little bit, put a shifter in it, and it can be driven to work every day and to the strip on Sunday. And it could very well win its class against, say, a Corvette because of the handicapped car. Now, let's take a look at the sportsman finals, starting with stock eliminator. Dennis Oliver of Prescott, Arkansas, in the 65th Cal at the bar lane. He went first on the handicapped car because the Corvette in the near lane, driven by Frank Ham, is more powerful. It was an exciting race and extremely close. The handicap worked out almost dead even as Ham came up the line and could nail it. Now, it looks to me like the Impala one, but the electric eye says the Corvette one for Frank Ham. It was his first final against a three-time winner of national events. Superstock, we saw California.